Bishop Fleming, great to be with you on this most sacred of days, Good Friday, as we enter into really the meat, the heart of our Catholic faith. We're going to hear at services today the reading of the Passion once again. And we have to participate in it.
Indeed.
In an even more, we got to say it 3 times. Crucify him. As a priest who has to read the parts of Jesus, what's that like?
It is a powerful day. Those readings are just so powerful to really enter into those readings. And again, knowing they're not history, they are history, but they're our present, our future, our now. And we are part of the story. Always moves me, that reminder that this is our story and we walk with Jesus. We've
spent all of this time preparing for this moment, and it really is emotional. Almost even talking about it right now, I'm getting a little choked up of just knowing that it was done for you, for me.
Right.
How do you encourage people to internalize that this isn't like Jack and the Beanstalk?
Right.
This isn't like some stranger that just did something in history a long time ago. So it's not fairy tale. It's not far off, like you were saying. And it was specifically done for you, for me. How do you encourage people to understand it that way?
Is really to again listen to that story. It's probably the liturgy that I find most difficult to preach on, because we've just heard the Passion, and it's like, what more can be said? And we do need to think about, yes, Jesus died on that cross for me. And maybe that's all we can say, all we need to say. But just to remember that it is that personal and that universal.
Today, whenever we go into the church, the tabernacle door is going to be sprung open almost.
It is.
Why is that such a important piece of today?
Again, that reason is on Holy Thursday, we start anew. We don't have, I had to say it this way crudely, leftover in the tabernacle, but we really start anew. And Holy Thursday, then we do consecrate enough for Good Friday, so that we can celebrate and receive Eucharist, not Mass, but Eucharist. And so that's why the tabernacle is open, reminding us that, things are different.
The priest and sometimes the servers at this liturgy walk in complete silence and then lay down on the floor.
Right. Yeah.
What's that all about?
Again, a sign of reverence, a sign of uniting ourselves in humility to what Jesus did. It reminds us also of the ordination of a priest, when a priest does the same gesture. Also, as a bishop, does the same gesture. Just allowing ourselves to enter into that moment and to give totally of ourselves is so powerful. I mean, we use our bodies, and that's one of the ways we do it. We invite people to kneel during that time as well.
As part of this liturgy also, we have those 10 very lengthy intercessions.
Yes.
Where we pray for a vast array of people and things and all of that, that really connects us beyond ourselves. We pray for our Jewish brothers and sisters. We pray for those who don't believe in God even.
Yes.
We pray for our government workers.
Yeah.
Why is that done on this day?
It should echo back what we do every Sunday, every weekday even, our prayers of the faithful, or prayers, universal prayers. But it does, again, remind us that this event is for all the world, not just for us and not just for this one moment, but for all world, all time.
And then we receive communion.
Right.
A lot of people don't necessarily notice the difference, but after those intercessions, the priest puts on a funny, long-looking, like table runner thing and goes and just magically gets the ciborium from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Not the tabernacle at this point either.
And so, what's that table runner looking thing called? Why is it worn? And where is he getting the Eucharist from?
Yeah. A humeral veil is what we call it. Just again, a sign of reverence when we bring the Eucharist in. Not to touch it maybe with our bare hands, but to to really show our reverence for that. And from the Mass before on Holy Thursday, we reserved Eucharist for this night. And so it is stored somewhere else. We don't allow for veneration after. Usually after Holy Thursday, we allow some time, but then we don't. And we wait and we watch and we prepare for this night when we receive communion. We don't have Mass on this day. It's the one day of the year. There is not Mass, but we do receive communion because it's who we are and who Jesus is, and giving himself fully to us in the Eucharist.
Why is it that we don't consecrate on Good Friday?
It's been our long tradition not to, and it does remind us that this day is set apart. This is the day Christ died for us, and we enter into it in a different way. At one point in our church history, communion wasn't even received. So we've restored that, but again, we're receiving communion. We're not celebrating the consecration of the Mass.
We know that today's not the end of the story.
Right.
We know what's coming tomorrow night or on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Why do we spend so much time dwelling then on the difficulty of the cross and of having the reality of God being nailed
God
to
dying
it?
for us? Yeah. To remember that. It's all about remembrance, and not remembrance in the sense of just recalling facts, but really remembering we are part of that story. It is here, it is now. It wasn't 2,000 years ago, but now. And it invites us to enter that story in a special way. And it is a beautiful celebration. And it also doesn't really end. Right after we receive Eucharist, we kind of depart in silence. And we wait in silence until the Easter Vigil or till Easter Sunday.
What's the right response to that? The priest kind of does just leave.
Right.
And so what should the congregation do at that point?
My best recommendation is to leave silently, to think about that mystery we've entered in a special way. It's always hard to do when you're with a group of people, but in my parishes, I've always encouraged us to depart in silence as we reflect on that mystery, and we wait through Easter Saturday up to that vigil time.
Thank you, Bishop Fleming, for taking time today and visiting. And I hope that your celebrations at the Co-Cathedral this evening are just rich with all that the Good Friday liturgy has to offer.
Thank you.